I realized something in 2009 that India is going to be having the highest number of unemployed youth by 2020. And then that hit me like, hey man, how is it going to happen? All the large companies will not be able to hire more. The only solution is entrepreneurship. And that's when I took a dive in. Why SuperBolter? We have this burning, dying desire to purify every space on the planet. We're not able to stop it, and we want to make every home on the planet absolutely stunning. So that's what drives us. We are a business family. We've seen good wealth there, but then in those 2 years, things really turned. There were a lot of policy changes in the government. We had made some heavy investments into certain factories, and then the government doesn't renew our leases. Instantly, within a few months from having a successful, nice business, which is doing hundreds of thousands of dollars, to now we are in debt. So we faced those challenges actually until very recently. 4th grade, there was 2 guys. They came and pitched some device. It was a home computer which you attach to a TV. This guy comes and says, there are a lot of games in this. And I took that, right? So that was my first interface with a computer. There was a 4-page program. I typed it out, copy paste basically. And then when I hit execute, what happened is the TV went blank, a line was drawn, and then a small rocket got drawn, and then the rocket just took off. I was stunned, people in my house were stunned. What did you just do? And that was my, the first love with computers, and I said, okay, this is where I'm going to be. The first cyber cafe opened in Bangalore. He had put up 2 systems where you can go and browse internet. I think internet was at 120 rupees an hour. Right about then, my cousin starts an internet cafe, a larger one, in Kormangla called Pandora's Box. So I took inspiration from him and I set up my own. So during my engineering, I was running that internet cafe. That took care of all the bills, every bill in the house. Plus we used to have a little more money. Now when I look back, these were small bricks in foundation of how do you create products and solutioning. Someone told me that, yeah, if you want to export, then you go join one of these companies, understand what they do, and then you can start on your own. So that was one of the reasons that I took up Infosys. Got to work under a tremendous leader. His name is Hasit Trivedi. What I learned from him is, you see talent, give them the opportunity. Even if that person cannot do it, right? It's okay to fail. So a lot of the career side is, a small reflection of him. The project was very interesting. I worked on the very first version of .NET Framework 1.0. That project, because of some issue, got escalated to NRN. Out of thousands of projects in Infosys, we were a sub-$1 million project in a unit called APAC. Inside APAC, we were Japan. It's a new unit. In Japan, we were a small project. And that gets escalated maybe some 50 levels up to directly the boss, right? So when I went there, the client would give me saying that these are the 5-6 issues that we have seen. By next day, those issues are resolved. I would go back, work till about 2-3 o'clock, fix them. Because at that time, I didn't understand the commercial aspect of it, whether we have to bill the client or not. That gave me a lot of mileage in Infosys. There were 2 large experiences. First 3 years was with Fanuc. They are the world's #1 at factory automation and robotics. That is the Japanese client. The next 2.5 years was with Goldman Sachs. Hardcore work. It was a fantastic experience. Riding on these 2 successes, both the places, I said, I'm all set, I'm all ready. I'm going to come back and start a CRM business. Another person I kind of look up to, he had just completed his MBA from IIM Calcutta. I was discussing with him this business plan and he poked some 20 holes into it. Right? I was like, okay, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? Etc. Right? And then he pitched his idea saying that, dude, you know what? I run this 50-member student team, which is creating this campus solution. And I want to build this. And that's where I started my first startup. It was called Vriksh. We were in 8 cities, had about close to 30,000 students on the platform. And 2009, we won the most promising startup in the country. We got airtime on ET Now. I think that was a big highlight. And then 2010, we shut. We didn't pay attention to our users. We were listening to people who were paying or the influencers or what they wanted. So we were continuously building features. We didn't pay attention to what were people doing on our platform and grow organically from there. The lesson when I just moved out was, we are too early, man. We are awesome. We built something amazing. People do not know how to use, or these institutes are useless. And then I said, oh, you need money to build a startup. Just passion is not enough. So I joined this company called VidyaNext /Pengala. They had assembled a great team and there is great leadership. I think we're going to change the way India learns. That was the tagline. So that happened for 3 years. Change the way India learns did not happen. Again, a ton of lessons. In both of those companies, some of the key things are how not to run a startup. I was preparing for my GMAT. I was reading up more about startups because now I want to plant myself there. And I was helping my cousin with his startup idea. And I met him for a coffee one day, right? And that meeting from 9 o'clock, it went on till 9 o'clock in the evening. I saw a huge opportunity now. Some of those red lights had become green now in this idea, in this venture. And then one fine day, I just jumped in. Very quickly built team, got one more co-founder. Kiran, myself and Ishwar started Ferdo. Ferdo was an end-to-end home interior design company, similar to LiveSpace and HomeLane. A very exciting journey those 2 years were. We did 40,000 rupees in the next month in revenue. 4 months from there, we did 40 lakhs. 6 months from there, we did 2 crores. Another 6 months from there, we did 4 crores. These are all monthly revenues. So we jumped from 40,000 rupees to 4 crores per month. Having raised just a few crores, we already built a venture which was on an ARR of 40 to 48 crores. That is where I tasted blood. Having run Bero for 2 years, the most common question customers would ask, hey, you're showing me these beautiful designs from Pinterest or our own design, but how will this look in my home? Until the customer doesn't see that design in their home, they're not able to decide. So he said, how can all these back-end processes can be simplified into a solution where the customer does not have to worry about software. Instead, it's a blank canvas. I can see every room in that. And I can very easily drag and drop designs, products, just like in a game. We did a real design, basically designed an entire house for a builder, and we went there for a demo, and it took 8.5 minutes to load that design. He said, by now I've already sold the apartment. Like these, we faced about 4 or 5 of these very critical challenges, which meant end of your company. If you didn't solve that, you're dead. And then we had to overcome all of that. And today, all of those now become our moats. I was reading Abhishek's post, and where he was touching upon multiple aspects. And then somewhere I got invited to one of those demo day. GrowthX was just incredible. It's not an easy program. You got to do it. And I really liked the clarity of thought, the way the whole program is structured, and how this community is getting built. I was pitching for top prop tech startups in the country. I wanted to get my pitch deck reviewed, right? 2 people came to rescue. One was this community at Founder Circle, and the second was ChatGPT. So I've been able to network also really well. I have increased my surface area of luck. We have touched about 3,000 cities now. We want to really now prove that in numbers that we are world's #1. As a revenue target, we're saying, can we do about 50 to 100 CR? When I started SuperBolter, I had a 1-pager, a vision doc. The last line on that said, when Elon Musk sets up that colony on Mars, the homes there will be designed on SuperBolter. That's where we are headed.